Today's reading is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 2, verses 1 to 12. And tomorrow is Epiphany, the feast of the wise men coming with their gifts to Bethlehem. Mostly we merge this in with Christmas, but strictly speaking, it's a separate narrative and occurred a little while later, not just 12 days later as in our calendar. Matthew tells us that Herod, in his fear and paranoia, had children of up to 2 years old put to death. So Jesus could have been quite a toddler by now, perhaps almost the size of the child in Our Lady Chapel sculpture. Epiphany means showing or revelation, and the idea is that the wise ones represent the Gentile nations worshipping the incarnate God, whereas in Luke's Gospel, the shepherds would have been Jews. Did this really happen? It's couched as story with features typical of ancient traditional stories, such as the rule of three shown in the gifts, or the mysterious guiding of a star. A real star, countless light years away, could not have picked out an individual building. The characters appear and disappear with no context, and the wonderful, valuable gifts are not referred to again at all in Scripture. Some astronomers suggest that the star could have been a double or triple conjunction of planets, but even then it's hard to tie that in with the dates of Herod's reign. Perhaps this is an example of a passage that is about truth, but not the kind of truth that we find in history or chronology or astronomy. More the kind of truth that's about meaning, identity, and significance. We're familiar with the significance of the three gifts: gold for kingship, frankincense for worship, myrrh for suffering and death. Easy to link these with the understanding of the person of Christ as the early church would have seen it: the suffering servant, the true son of David, worshipped as God and King. And then there's Isaiah's prophecy in chapter 60. Kings shall come to your light, nations to the brightness of your dawn. They shall bring gold and frankincense, and shall proclaim the praise of the Lord. By the time Matthew was completing his gospel, the fledgling church would have been making more headway among Gentiles than among the Jewish people. So they would have seen a fulfillment of Isaiah's prophecy in this, and would have anticipated much more to come. And so it has. The wise men from the east were a foretaste or a representation of those Gentiles who had the wisdom to see, to perceive and understand the truth of the gospel, hidden to many, and to kneel before Christ instead of kneeling before the Roman emperor. The story of the wise men that we read in Matthew has been much embroidered, and over the ages it's gained many other features, showing how much it's been loved. The three have gained names and origins, and have been depicted in much artwork, complete with camels, which also appear in Isaiah. Even the little drummer boy of the carol is supposed to have been part of their entourage and left behind by mistake with the Holy Family. Our imaginations have waxed lyrical with this story, and every year children love to dress up as kings and process in their nativity plays. But I wonder how many people actually hear and perceive the message that this story conveys. That human wisdom and human power falls to its knees before the cradle of the real King and Lord and the real wisdom of the whole world. I don't suppose St. Paul knew about the Magi, but he understood this truth when he wrote, "We speak of God's wisdom, secret and hidden. None of the rulers of the world understood this, for if they had, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory."